came from Mr. Payne's office.
Doesn't look like what I saw before, all the fees and everything.
My understanding was that it was approved, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Do what?
That it was approved, but it was never signed.
It was never signed or approved, and that's why it's on the agenda.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know why we're coming to meetings if we don't have at least an approval on it. But we don't.
Well, I wasn't here, so you all decide. It's on the agenda because there is no signed agreement.
This looks like the original letter.
No, I understand that, but I think council took some action.
We did it.
I think they approved.
There's nothing in the, they did not. I researched
We
it.
past minutes, and it was never approved.
Never.
And I know Mr. Garza was here, and he wanted that we were hired. And my understanding, this is just my understanding, was that the contract was never.
Yeah, I can assure you that there's nothing in the minutes. I researched it. I had one of my staffers research it also, and there is nothing in the minutes. And at that time, we were not even able to find the proposal that was sent, that has not been signed, so. I did look, and I told them at the last meeting, we did look through everything that we could find, and there's nothing in any of the minutes. There is a resolution to use you as interim attorneys until a proposal is made, but all proposals weren't allowed. That's, sorry,
Was the resolution signed?
was it to use you
Yeah, what was the resolution signed? That was the question.
temporarily as an interim, and the agreement was never signed.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any other questions? Okay, the motion on the floor made by Alice Pollock, not signed proposal, second by Mark Malinsky. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay, the motion carries 3-1.
I have a question about Mr. Payne. Is it true that anyone can terminate a contract with an attorney at any time, even if they had a contract with you? If they would have had one?
Our position is that yes, if you ask, they do not provide services.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that that was, I have heard
It
that.
probably has come up differently, but as a firm, we will not.
Yeah,
provide.
I understood that legally you could not, if they wanted to terminate you, if they had a contract, they could. Just a question.
Yes, you can. There may be some other things that have to be done with this, with the general ordinance.
Okay, next on the agenda, old business, C, consider an act to seek proposal for city attorney services.
Well, I make a motion that we do seek further city attorney services. Because we need to have someone that we can use for our business, for city council business.
Okay, we have a motion to seek proposals for city attorney services. Need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion to seek other city attorney services and a second. Any questions? Okay. Motion was made by Alice Pollock, seconded by Mark Jelinski. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. 3 for, 1 against, motion passed. Okay, next item on the agenda is old business. Consider and act on storing city records in a controlled environment. This is something that's been tabled from a couple meetings before. We kind of discussed it, and we tabled it to do some more questions, and checking with the staff does not recommend that we do this. They are continuously having to go back in and pull old records, and if they have us in somewhere else besides here in our confined of the city hall that will take a lot of time and everything, so they don't recommend it. This was, I think was the acting secretary, someone kind of talked about this, but anyway, I recommend we don't do this. Anybody else have any questions on this?
I don't think we need to do this at this time. Aren't we also backing up a lot of our information on risks and?
We are in the process of trying to get it scanned into the computers and backing it all up. This is all put a damper on that at this time because of all the work we're having to do to try to get the court and the city back in order.
And right now, we're having to reach in there so
But yeah,
much
we're in
because we
and out
can't find.
constantly, trying to dig up.
But there are some laws regarding that, and we need to comply with it, and we will do that. We just need to get things squared away here, so, and get the president in detail.
So
would you,
go ahead. Mark.
would you recommend that we just table this issue?
I think table it for now.
For now.
How long do you have to keep stuff?
It's different for whatever it is. There's a records retention schedule that we have to go by, and certain things can be done in so many years. For example, a recorded meeting, say you record this meeting, and you cannot get rid of that recording until 90 days after the minutes are approved. You know, there's a set thing for everything. Court records, I think like the cases are 7 years, but I can't remember them all offhand, there's too many. Every different department and every different item has a schedule and when you can destroy it and how you destroy it. And for many years, we didn't destroy anything, we kept everything because we were small and, you know, we purchased a pod with a lot of, basically when we started the court, because we had so many of the case jackets, each case, each violation, a ticket's written and there's paperwork for each violation and that paperwork grows and grows, you know, so. That's the reason we had to purchase that pod, is have a place to keep that, you know, because we have no storage in here, you know, and we did quite some time ago start scanning in like the old annexation records and things you want to keep forever. There's some things you cannot get rid of ever. So if there's
I wonder if there would ever be a consideration, depending on the cost of having something built here on our site. But that is climate control that would be used for that versus paying out, you know.
And some of that may have to do with the size of the city, but we'll get it, you know, figured out.
Are we losing any integrity with it being out here?
No,
Not that we can tell at all, it's all, the paper's fine, there's no humidity or anything that we can see in there that's messing anything
I mean,
up.
that's the main thing we need to.
bugs can't get
It
in.
looks fine, there's no bugs in it.
Actually, it's better since we bought that because the older records were in a file drawer in the fire department building for years. And we just moved that file, cleaned it real well and stored it in there also, so. But it, being the kind of container it is, it's completely sealed. And we have, you know, the double lock on it, the padlock that can't be cut, so it's secure and we haven't seen anything happen to anything. So. And it's been in there, I guess, since '07.
Everything's going well maintained.
Do you want to table it or just take it off the deal for a while until they need it?
Well, I think we should table this, so I make a motion to table the acting on storing city records in a controlled environment, someplace away from here.
Okay, I have a motion to
I'll say.
table, seconded by Mike. Any questions? Okay, Marge had made the motion there, Mike has seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's four, none against. Okay, the E, open it. Consider an act on a revised personnel policy. This is another one that we've been tabling and tabling. And just to give you a little hit on this, this personal manual, like I say, it's very complex and long, and it's more like, it reads more like a union contract. We had a workshop, and we went through the book, and we changed a lot of things to fit China Grove. And the acting secretary at that time was supposed to make some changes, but she never did. And so I took some of her notes, which were very vague, and took my notes, and I did make a bunch of changes, and I give Susan a copy of it, and she's been looking at it, time, I would say that, we either need to have another workshop on it, or if you don't wanna pass one, you need to pass something now, then the ones that, with my notes on, I guess, is the one we should look at.
Well, considering we haven't had a chance to look at any revisions made, I feel we need to table this until we can at least get a copy to look at revisions and compare it to the notes we've all taken.
I think we need to have another workshop on it within a reasonable length of time though. I mean, like, by the end of the year maybe, so that we can have a policy in place. Does that correspond with what you're referring to or not necessarily?
Well, I mean, table this agenda item right now and,
Right.
and get us all.
I mean, I don't want it to
Thursday.
hang, we need to get something in place, and if we keep tabling it every time, we need a time frame, I think, on it. I agree about tabling it at this time. I'll second that if that's what we need to know, but I think we need to act on it.
Okay, Mark, you made a motion to table it. And Alex seconded it. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4 for, none against, passes. Okay, next one is consider an act on providing agenda and supporting documents to council members on Tuesday before the regular meeting. Staff and the city minister has no problem with getting this done. I think it's a very good idea. We need to look at some of this stuff, or we know what we're looking at when we get up here, like some of this stuff that's coming up here about some of these here permits and things. So we'll get a little bit ahead of the game. So I think it's a good idea. We need a motion.
I'll make a motion to, have the agenda and supporting documents, on the Tuesday before our regular meetings to council.
Okay, I have a motion to provide these agendas. Any second?
No, sir.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, Alice made a motion, Mike seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
So question, say the meeting's on Thursday, I post a notice on Monday, y'all want it on Tuesday? Or you want it the Tuesday the week before?
No,
Because
that's
they used
fine.
to want it the Tuesday the week before, but that may be
Maybe
a
we'll
little
get a couple
different.
days notice to review it, should be
Okay.
plenty of time,
That's great.
especially under your circumstances at this time.
The motion I think is Tuesday before.
They're preliminary until 72 hours before, since we just have them once a month. If someone comes in or something comes up, we can still add it on, but I can let you know, and you'll have a basic.
Okay, you can kind of use your own judgment there. If there's something that's very important, like you need to, and you know it's going to be on the agenda, you just Tuesday
Yeah,
before.
yeah, I do start them early. They're ready. I have them, like, I've already got December started and ready, and I just keep adding to it.
Something
as
that
I
we need
get
to work on, look
Yeah.
at, and stuff like that, let us know ahead of time, yeah. You
Okay.
got our email address, so email them to us.
All right.
Okay, motion passed, okay. Next one is, old business is G. Consider an act to affirm appointment of John Mead as China Grove Municipal Court Prosecutor. John Mead was, our past, used to be our prosecutor, and, I understand he did, due to the last month's meeting, due to, they had, some problem there that they used him last week, so anyway, I need a motion to affirm his appointment.
What do we pay the prosecutor now that we have?
They're paid approximately $500 a month, and then we're billed for every call that we make to them, every email or every contact we have with them.
To the prosecutor?
To the prosecutor, and their service for the last month came up to $930. We pay John Mead $650 flat rate, and we can call him as many times as we need to, or make contact with him as often as we need to. There's no added fee, so.
Well, with that being said, I do want to make a motion that we affirm and appoint John Mead as city, China Grove Municipal Court Prosecutor.
Okay, I have a motion to appoint John Mead as a municipal court prosecutor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, for John Hayes, prosecutor, and a second. Any question? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. 4 for, none against, you say for, under Mike? Yeah. Okay. Motion was made by Alice and second by Mark.
And all voted in favor?
All voting in favor? Okay, we're out of old business. New business. Consider and act on certification of 2014 tax roll. Everybody has a copy?
Want me to read it, Glenn?
Yeah, please.
Okay, the market value of the real property in China Grove, and taxable value is, the taxable value is $109,559,300. The levy on that would be $93,523.21. Personal property at $12,378,226 for a tax levy, which is the revenue the city would receive, $10,658. For a total levy for 2014 would be $104,731. With your tax rate at, I believe it's 8 cents, 8.5 cents for the year. 8.5 cents per every $100. That's a very low tax rate, not correct, for a small. Well, I think St. Hedges is 47 cents.
Yeah, just to make a comment on that, we do, Ms. Costa, do have very low tax value. And we're trying to do things with very low tax base. Just, our hands are tied, and as you know, at last election, we did vote a 1/4% in the sales tax, and that's been kind of delayed, but it'll start January 1st, and that is strictly for streets. So that's going to help us in our future on streets. It's something that we may have to consider. I don't think we probably need a whole lot of money, but we may need to look at it a little later.
I think if we wrote a letter to the people and explained to them why we need to raise the tax, if we want better streets, like I said, why should we settle for 5-year streets when we can get 20? I mean, I agree. I think most people would rather see a better street than, a little mediocre street. And if they look at the China Grove tax, I have talked to people, they see what I'm talking about. When I tell them to look at only their China Grove tax, they can see it. But when you tell them to look at their tax, their overall tax, no, they don't want to raise their tax. But they understand that when I explain it to them, why, they know why, and they see it. But we need to let the people know why we want to raise the
Thank you,
tax.
Ms. Costa.
The China Grove tax.
Okay, we need to consider, we need to act on this tax roll.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion to certify this tax roll.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion made to certify the tax roll. Need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and second. Any question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4 for, none against. Mike Trainer made the motion. Alice seconded. Okay, new business. B, consider an act on 7712 Triple Branch, a non-compliance structure. Okay, I'll give you what I know about this, and maybe Susan can kind of comment. This is on Triple Branch. This is something that's been done quite a few years ago. A guy built a garage on this property, and presumably was going to build a house there, and never did. And then on this garage, you can build like an apartment on top of it, but didn't live in it, or if he did, it was a little while. And anyway, it's been sitting vacant over there for a long time. And a lot of the residents over there, complain about it in, lowering their property value. In fact, there's a guy right across the street trying to sell his house right now, and, thinks that it's lowered his property value. So, what has happened though, is this guy moved back into this house, and, it's non-compliance, if you don't meet the, things for gyro, the rock, the square footage and all this stuff. Susan, you wanna say anything about this?
There's not much to say, you said it all. It's been, we've been dealing with it for many years, and he moved out, said he's gonna, build a house, and then there was always some reason they were never able to do it. I'm not sure though if at the time he built it, if we had the requirement yet where you could build an accessory building. I mean, because basically that's what it is, it's a garage with an apartment on it, or a small
Is
house.
this person here?
It's in violation right now,
It's
right?
in violation of the size at the very least, and
The tax bill says it was built in 85, but they're off that time.
yeah. I remember being there forever, but I don't think our ordinance, but even if it's not considered an accessory building, it still doesn't meet the requirements of the square footage.
Is the owner living in it? Or
Ray
is it
Smith,
somebody
I have
else?
heard, one of the neighbors contacted me that he moved back into it recently.
It is him himself,
Mhm.
Ray Smith.
So I didn't know if y'all wanted, how you wanted to handle it.
Any other comments or anything like that, or need a motion on what to do about this, either send him a letter or act on this non-compliant structure?
I think we need to send him a letter and let him know, and
Bring
if
it up
he-
to code.
that's right, and give him a date, and if it's a response time, and I don't think he should be permitted to live in it until he meets the requirements that all of us have to meet here in the city of China Grove. And then if he needs to be fined, that's what ordinances are for. That's my opinion.
So the right way to do it is to send him a letter, right, Susan?
That's what we want to do.
Okay. I need a motion to consider, to send the resident on 7712 Cook Ranch an arrest letter notifying that they're in violation of the ordinance of the compliance, and they'll know that they need to get in compliance or.
Well, I make a motion to consider an act on the property at 7712 Triple Bend for a non-compliant structure through a certified letter, and we need to decide on the deadline.
Triple branch.
I'm sorry, what did I say, guys?
You said triple branch.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You don't want one of those on your neighborhood?
Can he move it? Can he?
No.
He can't remove it?
No, he built it a long time ago, and he was supposed to build a house, and he never did. Then they moved down and vacant, and the neighbors are
Well, he
complaining.
can sell it and have it moved.
No, he can't move it,
Oh, he
it's,
can't move it.
yeah.
Okay, motion's been made to send a record letter to 7712 Triple Ranch. Any second?
I'll second it, but I think that what we need to do is make sure we know when it was built and when our ordinances were put in place, so.
Well, the ordinance is in 96,
But whatever ordinance was in place at that time, I guess,
in 85,
So-
there probably
so we're
were.
not crossing a legal line somewhere.
I don't think in 85 there, well, let's see, I'll check it out.
Just-
Well, when was
But
it
since he
down?
moved in now, not then, he'd been
Right.
violation.
But anyway, we'll
He
check
was
it out,
he
make
was still
sure,
living there all the time, and
make
different.
sure that we are, doing what's within the law.
Okay.
How long has the square footage in China Grove, our ordinances, been in effect for like neighborhood?
I know, the original, we have had a zoning ordinance in 96, and we may have had one before that, I'll have to go back and check.
Susan,
And then,
I think that was changed under McMorris, when the square footage was changed.
was that in 96?
Yeah, it used to be 1,400, then we went to
And
the
he
present.
still was under it now.
Okay, have a motion on the floor, need a second.
Mike said it.
Okay. Motion been made, second, to send 7712 Triple Branch and unclaimed letter, Register 11. All those in favor say aye. Aye. 4 for, none against, passes. Was it made, Alice made the motion, Mike?
Yeah, Mike, I think Mike did first, or I did, I don't remember. Mike did.
Okay.
Alex made the motion.
New business, C, consider and act on a request for permit to construct a 24 by 30 RV cover. This is just a cover for an RV, no walls, and also no foundation, just a gravel base foundation on 7315 North 5. Triple M.
Yeah, the church actually will be decomposing that for base, I guess. Yeah, I think we can look at it, by the way, for the bids, so, you have any questions, on this thing, I'm building it to cover my RV, like, basically.
Okay, you understand now that if you ever close it in or something like that, you will have to put foundation in
Oh,
your
understand,
foundation.
sure. No, I may come down a little bit, not sun off the sides, but not all the way down, no. Not all the way close.
Okay, and this is way in the back of your property,
Yeah.
right?
There was some movement to the city staff, it was just, it wasn't drawn on scale, but
Yeah, I just
it's
know
kind
that.
of work.
I know the residents, you've done a wonderful job fixing that place up
Thank you.
anyway. Looks very nice.
How large is your property?
I have a wife,
Tells you what to do, good for her.
Give me a lot of work.
Good for her.
How large is your place, sir?
It's like 1.1 acres.
Okay.
I don't have a problem. I'll make a motion that we consider and act on a request for this permit for 24 by 30 RV cover on 7315 North Triple M. Providing that's exactly what you use it for and it's,
Yeah,
okay.
that's all.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor for, to request this permit. Need a second?
I'll second.
That's the other buildings already.
Okay, motion been made to request, to issue the request for permit for this 24 by 30 RV cover. And second, all in favor, say aye. All those opposed? Passes 4-1. Okay,
Thank you.
we'll do it.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'll leave it.
Okay, let's see what we got here. D, consider an act to contract for impounding vehicles that are seized when a driver is cited for driving without insurance, financial responsibility, or driving with no driver's license. As you all know, this is the law that you must have insurance, and we find out that there's quite a few people out there driving our streets without insurance. And so when they're stopped, they're starting to do something about it now, and we need to impound these vehicles. So we got a contract, right?
We're working on a verbal contract right now, like Chief Stramick reported, we've taken in about 9 or 10 impounded, and we've received payment on 6 of them. The agreement we have is, they pretty much take care of everything. We collect $135 on each vehicle when it's released, and if they don't ever come get it, it's auctioned off, and I think that can be done after 30 days, right? If it's there 30 days, then we get 50% of what it's auctioned for. And the gentleman is supposed to get a contract, a written contract together for us, and we had hoped he would have it by tonight so y'all could vote on it, but right now we are, going ahead and, since there's something down here and it is a danger, he's been having them impounded. And if you think we need a written agreement, which we probably.
I think we do.
Y'all want to look at one first before we vote on this, or y'all want?
He pretty much has given us a basic,
Just table it to the next meeting, right?
Well, again,
yeah, you can,
sign it in. But y'all,
and hopefully he'll have.
whatever you want to make a motion.
So temporarily, we're just using that as a verbal agreement?
It's someplace to take them because we don't have.
Well, can we just,
Can we keep on continuing this till we get a written contract, what we're doing?
He's fine with it, we just felt like we want a contract. The
yeah,
city
we
wants
want a contract, but I want to continue using the service until then.
Yeah, we just need to table it till we get the contract.
Okay. Need a motion to,
Basically, make that motion.
okay, Mike, make a motion to table this and keep doing what we're doing, but until we get a contract to actually look at, table it. Need a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Mike, second, Alice, Mike made the motion, Alice seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4 for, none against. Okay, next, item, new business. E, consider an act to contract for web page design and maintenance service. We did have, somebody doing our web page, and, they put some limitations on us. One month that we had a bunch of meetings, they didn't like it. They didn't like us putting that much on there, changing that month to month, so they said they do it once or twice. So we went,
And then the contract expired with them November 4th also.
and, so we did look for some other people to see what was out there, and we have been offered a contract for, it's, I think it's about $200 more a year, but,
It's unlimited.
it's unlimited time that we can put on there, and no extra charge.
If any of y'all want to see it, I have a little sample here. It's not, it's got a better picture on a bigger screen. It's got the state flag behind it and it looks real nice. And you can go to the city council and get information on who the members of the council are. You can get the agendas and minutes there. We also added let's see here. We added a table for ordinances to put the city ordinances on. Yeah, so.
So then, later on, of course, everybody started using computers now, we put like garage sales and stuff like that on there too.
I don't see why you would do that. This is a picture of it, but you can, on the larger scale, you can see the flag behind it.
Put a lot of
And then,
information.
then
It's very
there's a
nice.
place to keep listing our ordinances on there too, so I thought y'all might want to take a look at it.
Lost dogs, cats.
All of that on
So
there
you
too.
still have to use a manager to do everything on this?
We do. I used to try to do the other one myself, and it just is like, just one more thing. But we've been
We
paying.
have a contract to look at?
Yes, what they proposed for us is $300 for the design. They changed up what we had, and like I said, it was, you just can't see it on call because the screen is so small. But, and then their maintenance fee is $75 a month, which would come to, what is that about? Yeah, it's about 1,000. So anyway, the other lady was charging us $700, but she was limiting, excuse me, how much we could change it. She didn't like it when I would have to put something on at the last minute. And I thought she was just complaining about our our month of September, we had so many meetings, but she said no, she was unhappy through the whole year that, yeah, and it made it kind of uncomfortable to deal with her too.
So you have a contractor.
I do have a contract from Connor Philligan, and he has offered, like I said, he came down on his price to accommodate the city's budget, so.
We need a website with that, all the availability on that.
It's very.
I'll make a motion that we adopt that contract for our website.
Okay, motion's been made that, we,
And the contract is for 1 year.
it's a 1-year contract. What's the name of it again, Dork? What's the name of it? Contract with?
Phoenix.
Phoenix Digital Advertising. You made the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Motion's been made, need a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion been made and seconded, contract for this here, new, web designer. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4 for, none against, we'll go ahead and sign that contract with them there. Okay, we're getting close to the end. Okay, now the next item, we're going to have to take a short break here and go into executive closed session. We have some, still have some personnel problems that we need to discuss. As authorized by the Texas Government Code 551.074, personal matters. A, municipal court presiding judge training. We need to go into closed session for a few minutes here to discuss this. So at, what's the date? Thursday? 29. Close for a few minutes. We only have a couple more items, but you're welcome to stay if you'd like. But we need to go back there and discuss this for a few minutes. Thank you.